get to do a video on it. But I wanted to show you guys a couple of things in this go live, or actually one or two things with this. You guys probably are not tuning in. This is middle of the day. Like I said, it's not really a plan to go live, but I am putting different shocks on my HPI Vorza Truggy. So these shocks that come with it, these are fine. Um, don't even really know. Doesn't even really sound like there's oil in here. I don't even think there is oil in there. I probably should just crack this open and see because it does not sound like there's any oil. You guys hear this? Any oil in here at all. So what's going on? Just a quick go live with this. I'm replacing the shocks on here. I should probably just put some thicker shock oil and stuff in here, but I figured it's bad. Yeah, it's dry. I think they're both dry as a bone in the front and the rear. So I went ahead and I put my Arma TL the Typhon shocks for the TLR TT or the Team Losi Tune Typhon on there. So I went ahead and put that on there. But to put these shocks on here, you actually have to have the mounts and stuff for Arma on here. Like these are actually off of or from Arma to put on it because HPI gives you this, and these will not fit on it. I mean, it'll fit, but it's too much play in there. So you will have to replace that. I'm not sure about the S version. What's going on, Gap? I see you on here. So what's going on? Good morning. Good morning. It's afternoon here. So I did have to replace it. I haven't done the rear yet, and I won't do it when I go live because, like I said, it's a spare of a moment thing. But I wanted to show this to you guys. So I did go in and Gap. I don't know if when you replaced your shocks, you had to do this too, but I went ahead and put the Armor piece. And I don't even know the part numbers offhand, but I had these laying around. So I put those on there, and I'm gonna put these shocks on here. And it is a little bit better than it was before. Of course, these actually have oil in them. And I do have a pretty big battery in here. This is a NZ Hobby 7,000 milliamp LiPo that is in here. And then I also replaced here. You guys know my I just replaced the whole thing. I was gonna use a Team Corrali one for that turnbuckle, and this is probably almost a good length for this, but I went ahead and just replaced the whole thing. Now this is a Traxxas end that's on here. You probably can't see it if I turn this around, but I just went ahead and I used a Traxxas end on here. So that's going to be a lot thicker than the HPI one. And I think I have a Traxxas one sitting around here. Yeah, with all this junk that I'm moving around and stuff. So visually, you guys can see the Traxxas one, probably not too well, is a lot thicker than the HPI one. The actual turnbuckle didn't break, but that plastic, the rod end is kind of, it's just thin. It's too thin. And like I said, I don't know about the S version and how that is for it, but yeah, Gas City just changed the springs on there. So I did replace that. I'm gonna try to get this out and run it. It is a little bit better with the suspension. Of course, you can always adjust this over to make this ride height a lot higher, but I didn't care about that. I kind of still want that lean, that low truggy look for it, and I have to replace the rear ones. But the biggest thing was replacing this front one. I did want to at least show this to you guys, and thank you in case you guys are trying to do that. Gap said he replaced his springs in his. I don't even know if Gap you have oil because there's probably no oil in here whatsoever at all. So you spend money on stuff like this, and although this is their non-S version, you still spend 500-600 bucks on this, and you do want it to come with some good stuff. Now I've already replaced the servo in there. I knew it was probably gonna go bad at some point. I didn't feel like being out driving like I did with the buggy the other day, and then the servo goes bad, and then I'm sitting up there looking stupid. So this is a Speed Tech servo that is in here, and I'm gonna get this out running probably a little bit later today. I'm gonna go ahead and change the rear shocks in just a minute, and from that point, I'll be pretty much set with this. Probably have to replace these rod ends on here because those will probably end up breaking too at some point. But I'm surprised from that hit though, the A-arm didn't break, but I do have a little bit of wiggle in there. It's good to have some, but I think that may be too much. Something else may have somewhat come loose. So I'm going to tighten some of those screws up in there to make sure nothing's loose and not mess my steering up with it. But I wanted to at least show this to you guys that if you're going to replace the shocks, it is kind of proprietary somewhat with this. So What's going on, Danny? Nothing. Just showing this to you guys real quick. Figured I was working on it. I'll forget to do a video. You guys know I don't do a lot of working videos. I'm working on cars. I got my hobby sitting over there. I just replaced the servo in the buggy too, so I'll be running that. This my little table down here is full of all kinds of stuff, but I'm really trying to get this back up and running. I just got to put the servo under, which I got, and throw a radio in there, and I got that pretty much good to go. I'll show this to you guys while I got this live video going on. This is for my Sin Colossus truck. The actual differential went bad, so. And this is the Mojave. So I still have to finish a couple of things on that. Just do that to the side. I did go ahead and I put a Team Corrali motor and ESC in here. And I got a Power Hobby servo that I'm going to put in here that I just took out my other old one. And I'm going to put that in here. But this ought to be pretty decent. I think I got a 16 or 15 tooth pinion gear. But it'll be fine. It'll be plenty fast as it is. Like this. So I'll get this up and running real soon. Hopefully you guys were able to take advantage of those awesome sales that they had going on. So I think this was 350, about 370, 380 with tax, which is an awesome deal for this. So I'll get this up and running pretty soon. So are you into the no prep drag tours? No, I'm not really. Don't really do that too much because I don't really have too much time to do everything, but I've seen them run, so cars in Kansas. Quality control across the branch really needs to set up. Yeah, they do. I mean, it's a common thing with a lot of these manufacturers. It does get kind of irritating at ways sometimes because you pay all this money for stuff and then you got issues here and there. And this is across the board. It's not just a pick on HPI thing. This is all companies. I mean, we know that recently with the Traxxas Sledge, they boasted so much about how big the diffs and all that stuff was. And after about 5 or 6 runs, my diff went bad. I didn't even bash it hard. So you have to buy those diff gears, which are $50 a pop. So you have to buy one for the front and rear. So what went from a $799 truck went up to a $899 truck, and that's basically over $900 with it. And there was other small little things you needed to adjust on it, but that's a lot of money. Even though it's on sale right now, I don't know if it's still on sale, but that's still a lot of money to still have to go in and replace the diffs because I've seen a lot of people mess those diffs up. Now, if you're doing super extreme bashing, you'd probably end up bending the chassis and stuff. So they've been putting M2C chassis and stuff on there, but you pay a lot of money for this stuff. So we do need better quality products and better QA when they're getting this stuff together. And that's just my opinion. It is what it is. It's across the board for all manufacturers. Some manufacturers are getting a little bit better with stuff and they're trying to make it better, but I've seen a lot of videos of different products, not just like I said, I'm not picking on HPI, but I've seen a lot of other products from videos, and people are having all kinds of small little issues and stuff. Some of it's just kind of nitpicking, other stuff is stuff that needs to be looked at. So, but anyway, I wanted to show this to you guys. Like I said, this isn't a bash at HPI video and all that. You guys know that I don't really try to bash any company for anything. It doesn't matter who they are. I just try to show you guys what's going on as I'm progressing forward with stuff. The diffs and stuff should be fine on these vehicles, both of these vehicles, because they are Vorza diffs, and those really haven't had any problems or issues. I do have a spool in here, and I'm gonna go ahead and speed test this tomorrow for Super Speed Saturday, the buggy, to see if we can get 64 miles per hour on that. And then I'll put the spool in the buggy, then I'll maybe do it in the Truggy. I might keep the Truggy as it is, we'll see. But the spool I got from Speed Tech RC, and I'll have some information for that. But wanted to show y'all this more than anything else. And you probably can't see it too much in the video, but it is sitting a lot higher in the front. Now I probably have to put probably a little bit more shock oil or something in there. I may have to adjust this somewhat because it still is drooping out a little bit, but it won't be as much chassis slap as it's hitting down. So I may have to move this over in one more just so it can sit a little bit higher with it. I still think it's going to be pretty sleek and pretty aerodynamic and jump good, but I may go ahead and do that before I finish everything up. I may go live when I run this. Live videos aren't always the best, but I may go live when I run this to show you guys how much better it's possibly going to perform. So yeah, that one pack run was, and that was actually a couple of days ago. I just actually got to doing the video today. Don't know if that was a fluke, but that servo should not have went bad. I mean, that was like me turning in the grass, and servo was like, "Oh, I'm gonna break on it." So you guys saw that video. But anyway, I'm gonna get back to work on this. I want to let you guys know that if you do plan on adding shocks, make sure you look at the specifications of the holes of what's on the current one. And like I said, these shocks, you probably put some better oil in here, some springs and stuff, and you'll probably be good. You don't have to replace them with any aluminum body shocks. These have been proven to be good on other HPI models. I just was like, man, I'm just gonna change these out. I'm not even gonna deal with it. And then not having, listen to that. There's no oil in there. And then I'm probably gonna check these center diffs at some point in time too, because that makes me curious if there's anything in the center diffs. But anyway, guys, put your comments down below and stay tuned for the next video. See you guys later.